Walter here with LGW Realty. We're here with our expert, Inspector Daggett, here to talk about grounding your electrical. It's something that some of you might not have heard of before. I'm myself not too familiar, so that's why we brought Gary in to give us some information.
So hey guys, one of the things I'm looking for when I inspect a house is to make sure that the electrical service on that property is grounded. Typically what you're going to see, and we'll look at another example over here, is there's a grounding wire that's supposed to go to a post that's in the ground. That post goes about 9 feet down, and it grounds all the electrical in the house. So if you get a lightning strike or a major surge, it's going to transfer that overload down into the ground instead of sending it through your house and blowing up your TVs and microwaves. So you really want to make sure that you have that. It's also a safety issue. You want to make sure that your electrical supply is grounded. So this one doesn't have it. It's not a huge deal for a qualified electrician to add it, but it's something you definitely want to look for. So let's look at an example over here that we actually have one. So this post is usually about spaced this distance from the house. This post is going to go down about 9 feet down. You'll have a clamp, and then you'll have a grounding wire coming to it. A couple things you want to make sure is you want to make sure that this is really solidly clamped to the grounding wire. If it gets popped off, then it's not going to do you any good. You also want to make sure that the grounding cable that's coming out, or the tab that's coming out here, is really solidly in place. So in this situation where we have some stranding of the wire coming loose, the danger in this is you might get more amperage coming through one than another and kind of melt it out. You really want these to be connected together. So this is a situation where I would take this tab off, rewind it. I would probably put some coating on it and put it back on. An electrician can do that for you. They can also run a new ground wire if you need it. But this is something that's really important to make sure is really solid on your house. It takes 5 minutes to go look at it. Just turn this thing, make sure that it's solid, make sure that you got a good connection with your cable, and if you don't, get an electrician out here pretty quick just to take a look and tell you what it's going to need to get it up to speed.
Okay, and I just have one quick question. If
Sure.
I didn't know where my grounding wire was on my house, is it typically off of
Yeah,
your
it's typically
meter?
close to where your supply coming in and your box is. So if you have a supply coming in from underground, it's going to be in a similar position. It's going to be pretty close to where the electrical supply goes into the house.
Okay, awesome. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd love to help any way we can. Our information's below, and have an awesome day.